Well, she wanted Democrats, or she warned Democrats, rather, that it would be ugly, and it was. She said the suppression of candidates not named Biden or Harris was undemocratic and would come back to haunt them. And it did. Now, many of Marianne Williamson's critics have admitted that she was right all along. Marianne has made a run for the White House twice, but this last campaign was unprecedented. She warned of a coming electoral disaster if Democrats did not listen more deeply to the pain of people throughout America. And Dems not only lost the White House, but it was a sweeping defeat in the November elections. This is why Marianne Williamson says she has decided to run for chair of the Democratic National Committee. She says if Dems want a new president in 4 years, a new Congress in 2, then they must immediately get about the task of creating a new party. Marianne Williamson joins me once again to tell us how exactly she plans to do that. Good to see you again.
It's always good to see you. Thank you for having me.
All right, you've called the Democratic Party anti-democratic, even ruthless. Now you want to lead it. How do you convince the loyalists that you're the one that can turn this around?
People are not stupid. Democrats understand that the Democratic Party is a tarnished brand, that the way things have been going didn't work. And so it's time to open this thing up. The suppression of any voices other than the establishment chosen internal inside the club people who are going to do everything the same way, the way they do it no matter what. If you want to continue the trajectory of decline, then you continue with that. Right now, the people who are running for the DNC chair are talking about a 20th century political toolkit. They're talking about administrative expertise and function, which is extremely important, whether it has to do with data analysis, 50-state strategy, donor base, whether it has to do with fundraising, all those things are important, but they're not enough. If we're going to actually create a political phenomenon that can match MAGA, remember, President-elect Trump has created this collective adrenaline rush with a profound emotional and psychological hold on masses of American people. Not only has he drawn masses to him, he has drawn masses away from us. We have a very frayed bond of affection with millions of Americans, particularly working people in the United States. We have to address the problem on that level, on the level of the heart and the level of the mind. People aren't feeling it about Democrats anymore, at least not enough of them to make for the kind of victory that we need in 26 and 28.
Well, it's interesting because there's a lot of people like Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., even former Bernie bros who left the Democratic Party because, you know, they felt the party just didn't represent them anymore. But you're doubling down and saying, I'm staying with the Democrats, I'm staying with the party, and I want to run the DNC. Why?
Because a lot of the people that you just mentioned, and I hear from them often, suggest that I become a Republican. I'm not a Republican. I don't have a Republican soul. I have a Democratic soul. So when people like to say about someone like myself, she's trying to hijack the party. No, 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 no. They hijack the party. My principles and my political beliefs go back to Eleanor and Franklin Roosevelt. They're the Whitneys and the DuPonts and the Morgans who took it over with this corporatist mentality where it's more about the donors in too many cases than it is about the suffering of the American people. And so I want to reclaim the Democratic Party for what I believe are the traditional values of the Democratic Party.
All right, so if you look at the list now for DNC chair, it's comprised now of 5 people and you, a woman, a person of color, and 4 white men. So given how Democrats lost the Hispanics, lost women, lost union voters, the working class, does this slate of leaders, I mean, we know where you stand, but does this slate of leaders really look like what the party needs right now? I think it's about the consciousness of a leader. It's about, listen, there is some ethical corruption within the way the Democratic National Committee was working during 2024 election. I know because I was there. One of the people who is a leading contender was his idea of making the Democrats win was to kick anyone off the ballot that he didn't feel should be there. That should not be the role of a state party leader, and it should not be the role of the federal party. The Democratic Party should never have been thinking that they had the right to choose Joe Biden, and they had them. I don't believe that they should have felt that they had the right to choose Kamala Harris. So the people who are running now, it's not about their sex, it's not about their color, it's not about their ethnicity. It's about their ideas about what the party should stand for, and I believe the party should stand for ethical principles,
principles. The party should stand for genuinely democratic principles. The party should stand for being, I believe, a megaphone from the various Democratic leaders and candidates throughout the country. I want to help the American people reconnect with the significance, the practical significance of politics to their daily lives. Too many Americans don't know what Democrats are trying to do for them in the House or the Senate. They don't know what's happening in their state houses. And the Republicans actually have been better at keeping their base informed about what they want and about what they're doing. The Democrats have acted like, just elect us and then trust us. People don't even know. And that's why too many Americans don't feel like the Democratic Party has their back. I want to talk to people. I want to listen to people. The first thing I would do.
But you have been doing that. You've been traveling around.
That's why I'm running, because I'm the one who's been running. You know, everybody says about some of these people running, well, he knows how it's done in Wisconsin or wherever. No, I know what's happening among people around the country. I know what it's like for people who are among those 70 to 90 million people who are underinsured or uninsured, who are among the 1 in 4 who have medical debt, who are among those over half of the bankruptcies that are medical bankruptcies, people who are so concerned about their children's asthma because of the toxins in the air or the carcinogens in their children's food, people who can't work on just one job and actually make it and support their families, and who absolutely know that the Democrats have not provided for the raise of the minimum wage. I want to make sure that the American people know what the Democrats are trying to do, and I want the Democratic Party to know when the American people see you not doing what you say you stand for. And I believe that that's the way to reconnect and to repair the frayed bonds of affection between the American people and the Democratic Party.
You've said that the Democratic Party needs to learn to rise like a phoenix. Beautiful metaphor from their defeat of this past year. So what do they need to do to win 2026, 2028, and beyond? Because it did not work in any way, shape, or form this time around.
If I am elected, the first thing I will do is go on a listening tour. And I will ask people. You ask people, they'll tell you, what did we not do? What are you not receiving from the party? What do you need that you're not getting? And I would also ask people who have traditionally voted Democratic and voted for Trump this time, how did we lose you? And what do we need to do to get you back? I will also tell the great story of the United States. It kills me how Republicans have stolen patriotism, have stolen American history. The idea of what the abolitionists did to push back against injustice, and the women's suffragists, and the early labor organizers, and civil rights movement. That's what the Democratic Party needs to stand for now, pushing back against the systemic injustice of this corporate matrix. Insurance companies, pharmaceutical companies, big food, big chem, big agriculture, financial institutions, big oil and defense contractors whose power and profit-making goals now have infused every sector of people's lives. The Democratic Party should stand for that pushback against that systemic injustice. And when the party does, and when the DNC chair is someone who can help make sure that the people know that the party does that, that's how we're going to win in 26, and it's also how we're going to win in 28.
Well, you're pushing back, and we'll be following every minute of the way to watch you take this on. Marianne Williamson, thank you so much.
Thank you.